Hi, I'm Michelle Williams, and I'm here with Ward and Rachel Conger, and they are our regional marriage ambassadors in Washington State and the surrounding areas. And I wanted to ask you a few questions. I just think it's so great how you guys came in and helped us in the ministry, and really your own marriage, it wasn't because your own marriage was in crisis, but you felt a calling from God. And there may be people watching this that, God has put on their heart the importance of marriage and that they want to do something and be used by God to help couples stay together. And so I thought I would just let you share a little bit about what that calling looked like for you. Where do you want to start? What happened that you would feel called into this ministry?
Well, I guess a long time ago I started off in a career where I traveled a lot, and I was alone quite a bit in that traveling, and so I longed for a wife and a family, and I didn't have the opportunity at that time. I was in the military, and found myself traveling a lot around the world, but not enjoying my lifestyle. And so I prayed about having a wife and a family and becoming a Christian, and God answered those prayers, and I met Rachel, and so marriage and family's been always very important to me from those days. We've been married 43 years, and so I kind of hang on to our marriage like with the tenacity of a bulldog, because it's just so important, I think, to have that commitment.
And Rachel, what about you?
In all those years of traveling, one time I asked him, why aren't you ever tempted to? And I completely trusted him. He's an entirely honorable and trustworthy man. But you hear so many horror stories, and I asked him why he was not tempted, and he said, I have too much to lose. And he meant marriage and family. So I've always known that it was really important to him. And then when because of some folks at our church and our pastor's very strong stand on marriage ministry, you came to our hometown. And he was just getting ready to retire from his day job. And I was stunned when God moved on his heart so powerfully. I mean, I say yes to everything. My hand always goes up. You need something? I'm inclined to volunteer, overextend myself. But God moved in his heart, and he began to talk about really being excited about the ministry here. So I just my hand went up one more time. I was ready to work with him.
Yeah.
I felt like I waited a long time in my life for a good marriage, and when I finally was able to get it from the Lord, I wanted to hang on to it.
And you want to
help
share
other
that with
people.
others. You
Right.
want to help others stay married because
Yeah.
you know the blessings.
Yeah, there's going to be a legacy that we all leave in our marriage and in our family, and so I wanted to help other couples, with that legacy and staying together.
Rachel, one of the things that I appreciate about you and Word both is that when our ministry receives an email from a marriage in crisis, we always have the men meet with men, women meet with the women, and as you both know, about over 50% of the time, only one person is willing to work on the marriage. But what I appreciate about both of you is that when you get that contact, you immediately follow up, and you don't just follow up with an email. You are either on the phone or you meet with them in person to have coffee if they're within a 2-hour driving distance. You really are committed to helping marriages, and we appreciate that so much. Is there anything that you want to say to anybody watching whose marriage might be in crisis right now?
Well, if you're not that far away, please contact us. This is important stuff. Ward mentioned the legacy. This is generational, and maybe in someone's past there's been divorce, and in order to break that cycle, some couples need help. And that was one of the things about yours and Joe's ministry when we first came on board that impressed us so much, was you and you know, you can read it in Yes, This Marriage Can Be Saved, is how God just did not let you say no or say yes to divorce another time. He just said, no, you're going to figure this one out and maybe break that cycle. And that really impressed us. Can I tell the story about when I first met you? And
Sure. I hope I remember. I probably don't even remember.
well, and you came to our church and you told your testimony, and I found out that you'd been divorced before, and I very arrogantly said to myself, what can this woman tell me about a good marriage? And of course, God humbled me and showed me that He has graciously taught you through your hardships, which is very often the way He works, how to equip others to have better marriages. And it knocked my socks off.
Well, I'm glad He humbled you because we became friends through the process too.
Yeah. When I think about marriages in crisis, I naturally turn to the principles of marriage 911, God's way, and just the lessons that bring us back to square one and lead us one by one steps, like Joe compares it to pushing the button on an elevator or going up the steps one at a time. So we just have to go back and reset the clock, if you will, and kind of slow down and get back to the basics, which are many times, well, almost all the time, they're biblical principles that we took our vows for in marriage, and that somehow we've gotten off track with. So those marriage principles, can be relearned, but it's going to take time, for most people, most couples.
Well, if you're watching this interview here with Ward and Rachel and you're thinking, gosh, I have a heart for marriages and my own marriage has never really been in that big a crisis, but I want to help others to stay married, contact our organization and you're already on the website watching this, aren't you? We're there to help. We will come to your church and help train a team, or Ward and Rachel will come and train the team. We have these ambassadors all over the United States and Canada now. So God bless you, and we're all praying for your marriage. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.